All right, so here's the deal. For all you listeners out there in podcast land,
We're back, bitches!
Joey Diaz.
Beauty and the Beast, you sexy motherfucker.
Anyway, how's it going, Joey?
You know me. You looking good today? Did you work out this morning?
I did work out this morning, and I'm having a good morning because, honestly, to all your listeners out there, we did a podcast yesterday, and we both left here like, what the fuck? What was the purpose of that? You know what I mean? Like, that was kind of depressing, wasn't it?
Well, you know, sometimes one thing when we started the podcast was we didn't want to talk about, we didn't want to time lock the podcast. We didn't want to let you know what was going on at that time. You know, me talking about the Kardashian wedding or me talking about something that's in the news really defeats the purpose, because if you go to listen to this podcast a year from now, but it's still interesting because it was what our views were then, you know.
Yeah.
But lately we felt, you know, I went home after Felicia said that to me yesterday and I listened to all the old podcasts and it was weird. Like, it's like we lost our focus.
We lost our way a little
Felicia,
bit.
you have a lot of shit going on and I have a lot of times going on.
We have a lot of stuff going
and a
on.
month ago I sent you an email and I'm like, Felicia, we have to start like writing stuff out because I'm out of fucking stories.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else. I'm trying to dig deep. Like, you know, we talk about, and a lot of shit just comes out as you're rapping. That's why you edit this a lot of times, because a lot of shit comes out when you're rapping. You ever go somewhere with your intention to do a material, and when you get there, somebody does something, and all of a sudden your material changes, and that's what happens sometimes here. So, you know, we talked this morning, our apologies to the listeners if you've been listening lately and going, what the fuck is going on? We just got away from basics. I wasn't getting high no more before I was coming here. You know, I wasn't having
That was
honey
killing
nut
me.
Yeah, you were like, you didn't get high this morning. No, because I'm trying to, and you know, the thing with this podcast is people won't really see our true insides. So fuck it. This morning I got stoned again. I had eggs and bacon. So now I'm fucking ready, you know what I'm saying?
So now we're back, and I mean, we did talk about some stuff. Yesterday I had brought up my friend Jewel Shepard, who's a B-movie actress, and I knew her when we were both strippers at the Jet Strip when I was 19, and she was, I don't know, because she never told me how old she was, so it's always a mystery. But she did a bunch of like B-movie films where she was always off in Vietnam taking her top off with a machine gun or a machete in her hand. It was like those kind of movies, you know. And my friend Jewel Shepard also became a writer and had a book about B-movie actresses. You know, she's a busy little bee and a very serious person in her own way. And one of my best friends, and we've had a difficult relationship. I've talked about it before on the podcast. But she is going through breast cancer, you know, and it's been a very difficult thing, although it's made our friendship a lot deeper. And it's interesting to see, you know, here is a woman who was stunning, you know, and still is. She's a beautiful lady. She's in her 50s. She would kill me if she knew I was saying that. And to see someone's beauty be taken away, even though she looks marvelous, you know what I mean? And because she always kind of relied on that, you know, like we were very similar in the way that when she was acting, she was all like, oh, that's for me. And I kind of did that whenever I would do acting, because I don't like to act, you know. And so we always were people that both relied on how we looked. And I'm not like a stunning chick, but I was okay when I was in my 20s, you know. And to see that stripped away from her, and to see like her breasts being taken off, and it's the most real thing on the planet, like, and we've been having these great conversations about why is this my destiny, and if you know, and how serious she is about being true to herself at this point in life. And she's doing great, you know what I mean? She's going through, I shouldn't say great, but she's going through chemo, but she's had a lot of difficulty, and she a lot of people have come to her side. They're doing a fundraiser for art signing and stuff with a bunch of comic book artists at Dark Delicacies here in Burbank, Saturday at 7 o'clock. And it's been a very interesting thing because it's really deepened her in this really interesting way, you know?
What we were talking about before was focus. You know, we get a lot of emails from people who are kind of lost in their lives and they don't know what's going on. And it happens, and it happened right in front of us with this fucking podcast. It happened, and this is what we were talking about, that sometimes you think you're putzing along, and it's the law of diminishing returns. That's why I hate opening up fucking doors that I cannot close. Before I open up a door, I always think about it now, because there's so many things to our lives sometimes, and we're really focusing on this podcast, but it's so weird. Like I was telling Felicia, as a salesman, I know a lot of people out there that are salesmen, that sometimes people give you a script, and you sell from that script or whatever until you learn the product, and then you think you know it, so you get away from the script. And that's what kind of happened with us. And it kind of happens in life also sometimes, where you don't know what's going on, and you just fell off your thing. You know, how much of a difference, Felicia, is it now in your life that you're exercising? Tell me the truth. How much of a difference? Now think if you stopped exercising, you'd be a little, I tell you what, your personality has changed. You don't have that much stress in your life. I would come here some mornings and you'd be a little, you'd be running around like a chicken without a head.
Oh, dude,
and now I noticed that since you've been working out, but it's really weird. In 3 months, you're going to look more better than what you look now, and you're going to say, you know what? I don't need to work out for a week or two. And we all do this. And all of a sudden we're in this tailspin, and it's just little things. That's why you need anchors in your life. And that's why we were pulling the anchors up. I mean, we even stopped saying, like, we're back, bitches. Like, I even stopped saying it. So do you understand me?
Right.
It applies to life. This is a lesson that we got through a podcast. And I went home and sharpened everything up. Like, I erased this on this joke because I was, like, working. I was in that mode that I was, like, blaming myself. Like, and I always tell people this, and I stress this a lot, with any subject we always touch, to look upon yourself. I hate blaming society. And for the first 30 years of my life, we all blame society. Until one day you're like, you know what? I got to fucking pick up my bags and, get a roast beef sandwich, and half of it is me. And that applies to anything. You're slipping at work. It's little things. I used to have a guy in Boulder that used to say, I come to work every day and my shoes shined. And I said, who gives a fuck? What are you talking about? What are you telling me for? And he goes, because it gives me time to think about my day. Those 10 minutes to shine my shoes. And when he stopped doing it, he goes, I wouldn't sell. Like, I wouldn't sell anymore. And there's so many things that keep us anchored. And it's so weird that I could use the working out thing because I've been seeing it in you. When I come in the morning, you'd have 6 computers open, coffee, you'd be talking about this and that. And then we come out here, you're not like that no more. I think when you go work out, it all focuses in.
Oh, yeah.
And I can see it. I really see the difference. And it's so weird that sometimes when your life is fucked up, we think it's a lot more fucked up than what it is. And it's just making little adjustments.
Right. And here's the thing, too. Like, you can't focus 100% on one thing in your life. It's an ebb and flow. There are times when I'm really focused on the podcast, like I made the new website and did the animation and all that kind of stuff. But then there are times where, quite frankly, I just want to write some jokes for my comedy, and I'm also a mom and all this kind of stuff, and it's not an excuse. But, sometimes the wheels can come off
It
here
all
and
has
there.
to fit in your day.
I went to go see Glenn Campbell, and let's just say Glenn Campbell has Alzheimer's now, and he is doing I think it's called the last tour or something, and so this is literally his last tour. So it was at the Nokia Theater. I went with my friend Mickey. We took the train, got on at Universal, went downtown, and the first band goes up, and there are these beautiful kids and hip looking and so fucking talented. The opening band, they're so talented, they don't even talk that much to the crowd. The crowd loves them so much they start shouting out, who are you? Who are you? What's your name? And they go, oh, we're innocent people, and they do their thing, and then they go off. Everyone stands up and applauds. They come back out. Glenn Campbell comes back out. Glenn Campbell is an amazing voice. His voice is still beautiful, right? They're playing, but you notice in the band there was this girl, because they're also his backup band, and she looked like Taylor Swift, but she had a banjo and she had like her little keyboards, and super fucking talented and just hot looking, and she keeps looking at Glenn Campbell with concern, and you're like, what the fuck is that about? That's kind of weird. And maybe that's why she was hired, to also watch Glenn Campbell. And it got to the point where Glenn Campbell, 3 or 4 songs in, didn't remember all the words, but the crowd was so supportive because he was in such great spirits. And then Glenn Campbell, after about the 4th song, says, I want to introduce my kids. 3 out of the 5 band members were the kids of Glenn Campbell. That girl was the kid of Glenn Campbell. She was looking at her father with love and playing music, and it was the most amazing show that I've seen in years. And I mean, there's a part, usually when I see people embarrass themselves on stage, I can't even be in the room because I know what that feels like. I can't even watch it on TV when someone's all drunk at the Academy Awards. I have to turn it off. It makes me like hyperventilate because I've embarrassed myself in public before. But to see the crowd love him and just admire what he's doing, and just to see his whole family around him and all the shit he was through was such a cool concert. I mean, it was really like, that's how it should fucking be. I mean, I know you could make jokes about the fact that, yeah, he did forget a couple words, but he would just laugh it off and just keep going, and he really gave it his best. But it's really how it should be. Like, it was just really an incredible show without being sad, by the way. So if you get a chance, because he's only touring, I think, a few more months, you should try to go see that. But I said it to the kid, and he's like, I don't know who Glenn Campbell is. I was talking to the tutor, and I just felt so fucking old. Not that I grew up with Glenn Campbell, but I remember being a little kid and watching True Grit, and Glenn Campbell was in it. My mom used to love Glenn Campbell. And guess what? I thought of you last night at 2 a.m. I wake up, I turn the TV. Guess what movie is on? The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I was like, no way. And then I couldn't go to sleep. I had to watch it. What a bad
Outlaw Josie Wales was on yesterday,
movie.
too. It was a Clint Eastwood marathon, American movie class or something like that. I tell you something. I'm a very lucky man. Because God put my wife and you in my life.
Aww. I'm a very lucky woman that I'm in your life, and I don't have to be in the have to suck your cock category.
Unfucking
That's what I'm lucky about, Joey.
Halloween's coming, bitches.
Halloween. So you're going to dress up, I hear.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I like to dress up and scare the kids when they come to get candy. Mm-hmm. Fuck with the kids, because that's always... But kids aren't the same like they used to.
Yeah.
Kids don't fucking come around the bundles. Yeah. 2 weeks before Halloween, I was getting my little fucking entourage ready. I had my friends ready. I get a couple eggs. You take some needles and you put the hole in the egg. And you put the eggs under your bed for like 10 days before Halloween. Those are man-made stink bombs. And you pray that your mom don't find them. Just a little needle. And just pluck that egg on top, and you just hide that motherfucker. And
really?
Don't let that egg break.
Wow.
Whatever you do, don't let that egg break, because you will not get the smell out of your nose. That's like a dead fucking body.
And is there a particular target you guys always have
Anybody
in mind?
who doesn't fucking tip you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Chinese people spit on your food in Chinatown when you don't tip them. We would throw eggs at your fucking house, and those things stink to all hell. And we would get, like, I had a friend that was a hunter, so he would get, like, deer piss and...
Really?
Yeah, you get like piss from different animals to put it out because it scares a certain animal. We would do that shit. We would get skunk scent and put it on your fucking thing. Yeah, you had to pay up. We would. It was Halloween extortion when I was a fucking kid. You knew it. We get the.
So you put skunk urine on what?
You go to the sporting goods and you buy skunk scent.
Okay.
And you just pour it on somebody's stairs when they don't give you candy. Just, it's fucking like a little bit will go a long way. Like the whole neighborhood will stink. Wow. And we would each buy a jar of that. So we were prepared. So by
a jar.
Like not a jar, like a big. You bought it in like 2-ounce little serving. Like little vials. Yeah. So we'd all chip in. And in those days, there was no internet. You had to have like your dad drive you to the sporting goods. And, you know what I'm saying? Like wait in the car. And then what'd you get? I got a giant hat, but you really got the fucking vial of skunk fucking scent.
Yeah.
Halloween was big when I was a fucking kid. Listen, I'm no fucking costume guru. You know me. I just get a cape and a fucking mask, and I'm ready to fucking rock. We'll make it up as we go down the fucking block, all right?
Well, what was your favorite Halloween costume when you were a kid?
The one that I've been for the last 48 years, Captain Chaos.
Really?
Dun, 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 dun.
Captain Chaos.
You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, the best is when you, till this day, I know I've said it before, is do it this year. Just take a shit in a bag. See, in the old days, you could scoop shit on the streets, but now everybody cleans their fucking shit, which I never believed in. You gotta scoop. Fuck, you got
throwing away an opportunity. They are.
Yeah, that's it. And now I gotta go hunt down my own shit and light it on fire. You put it in a bag and you put some flattest fluid. You look at me like, why are you doing? This is the shit you do as a little fucking boy. You know?
Right.
There's always that evil lady on the block that has a cat that you thought she was evil. You always threw eggs at her fucking house.
You know what? I have this friend, and I can't say her name, but when she was a little kid, her mom did real estate on the side on the weekends or something. And once she had to sit in this house they were showing, but they couldn't make a mess in the house, and she had to really go to the bathroom, and it was kind of in the middle of nowhere. And the mom was like, the real estate lady trying to sell it, and people would come, and she's like, go down in the basement and use a bag in there. Don't mess up the bathroom. And so she had to shit in a bag. And when she told me this story, I was like, what? And it really traumatized her as a person. And now whenever I see her, I'm like, hey, basement shitter. You know what I mean?
Shh. Say that shit to me. Let me tell you something, man. It's amazing what traumatizes some people and what some people could live with. Like we were talking about directing yesterday. You know, how I can never be a photographer because I don't have that eye. And people are like, what eye do you need to be a director? You need a fucking eye, stupid. I know you think you're a director because you took pictures of your 6th grade class. But there's a certain patois to a director. Like when you see, the older Charles Brown, not the one with the Italian guy. Sergio Leone, he was so fucking wild.
Dude.
He'd show you a fly on the wall down the corner.
Absolutely.
And it was like, and you'd even hear the fly buzzing.
Yeah.
And it's so weird. Like, sometimes when you watch, you don't know when a movie like that until you watch it, until your senses get alerted. Like when your senses go crazy, you know. And it's like I was telling you the other day that, in this documentary I'm doing, I had to go shoot my mother's cemetery. And to talk about a cemetery is nothing. Oh, yeah, we went to the cemetery, When you see a cemetery, like, and you see this one, it's old. Like, and the weirdest thing that happened when I was shooting that day is the fucking cemetery's been there since 18-something. So I guess the streets of the cemetery were designed for horse and buggy shit.
Right.
So now it's like a car is too big. Do you know both times I went in there, like I went to shoot a little bit, and I go, you know what, it's my mother, I should bring some flowers. That time when I backed up, I hit the fucking railing, right? The second time, me and Lee pulled in, when I backed up, I hit a tombstone.
You did
and
not.
And it rolled fucking 20 feet.
Shut
and me
up.
and Lee were so fucking stoned, I couldn't get out of the car and get it.
Did you guys laugh? Or were you mortified?
What would you think?
I don't know. You were stoned.
The car went boom. And all of a sudden, I turn around and I go, what the fuck? I hit this thing with the rental car. So I pull the car up, and even when I pull the car up, I look back, and I can see the tombstone rolling down the fucking hill. And there was like little snakes under it, because that's what we did when we were kids. You knocked the tombstone over, and there was snakes under it, like, and you pick up the snake garden snakes, and you'd sell them at school for $1. What a fucked up fucking childhood I had, selling snakes. What kind of kid was I? I sold snakes for $1. And then when you pick them up, they shit on you, like the little bags.
Yeah. Hey, I don't see a problem with it.
Hustling shit when you were a kid?
Well,
I sold everything.
Yeah. What's the weirdest thing you sold when you were a kid? Did you have one you sold that really you have a great memory about, or something weird happened attached to it?
I was like, my mother had installed this trait in me of hustling, and it was just nonstop. Like, I think about people who do scams, and I think about me, like, when I was 12, we played CYO basketball. It was fucking St. Michael's CYO. St. Michael's, this is a fucking gym. It belongs to St. fucking Michael. And we broke into the thing where they had the boosters, because you're supposed to sell boosters, $1 a piece.
Right.
And then it's a sticker that says CYO St. Michael's, support your local, whatever, and then people put it on their glass when you walk in the door, so people see you booster all these kids.
Right.
And we would have to get 20 from the thing, and you'd sell them for $20, and it went for uniforms and shit. We would take the whole cabinet and sell them for $1 a piece, sell them for 50 cents. Everybody had those boosters.
Oh,
we would only
really?
give them $20, but it's such a shame. Like, we were always doing those little moves. Like I was telling Felicia yesterday, when I was a kid, if we needed money, we'd go fucking get a newspaper thing. Put a quarter in, take out 20 newspapers, and go in front of fucking Sears and sell newspapers, 50 cents a piece. That's it. We hustled. I remember having a paper route as a kid. That was one of the best fucking hustles I ever had, because I would fucking do the paper. I would sell books, like school books, like Scholastic would make you like, excuse me, sir, I'm your paper boy. Can you please look at this book?
Right.
And if you buy this book, if you buy 10 of them, I could go to the zoo.
Right.
I was into all that shit. I would leave shit at my mother's bar, and my mother, if you bought a drink, you bought a booster. Like I thought it was $350. It's $450. You're buying a booster for my son today. You know, I always hustled. I would give her, like, it was just amazing. But like, what did I sell? The craziest thing I ever sold was Banaka.
Banaka.
Banaka and sneakers. I used to go with my friend and we used to jump in the dumpsters at Banaka, the corporate, the factory.
Right.
And they would throw away all the irregular Banakas, like if it said Banuka or Pussy Breath or whatever. We would take them and sell them for 50 cents. They were $1 then. And it's just so amazing. Like that was like it was so big for me to get 50 cents. Like just have my own money at that age.
Right.
You know, the weirdest thing I ever did that I'm trying to write about it and I can't put my hands around it was when I used to work at bingo. Like I used to work bingo. That is the weirdest job ever. They don't even have that hustle no more because old people are cheap now.
Yeah.
Back in my day, old cheap people had fucking dough. You know what I'm saying? They had in their socks and their bra, and you worked bingo, and you could make like a waiter in bingo would make fucking $100.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were in the
Really?
4th grade.
Yeah.
And me and a bunch of kids would work bingo. And then we figured out that if you spiffed the kid an extra 10, he would give you coffees for free.
Yeah.
So we charged 50 cents, and there was no 50 cents. We keep the 50 cents or the dollar or the chips or whatever it was. Then the old people would tip you, and then there's the old ladies that would try to molest you.
Oh,
you know,
really?
Yeah, like try to touch your little pingita. My first real trick-or-treat, I think I was about 5. And I walked up and down Broadway. Like in
yeah.
New York, like that's a great trick or treat. And I remember that people would give you pennies and candies, and you couldn't take apples because they might have razor blades in them.
Right.
But I remember one of the neatest things I got. Somebody gave me a James Brown 45.
A what?
A James Brown 45,
Oh, really?
like super bad.
Oh, really?
Because I got super bad. Like somebody's like, I ain't got no candy, but take this. And they gave me like a brand new 45, and I remember going home and like I felt special, like holy shit. But one of the worst Halloweens I had was the Halloween when I went. In fact, I was telling a buddy of mine, Steve Avillo, and he said that they're doing a Halloween band thing, and that my buddy Focaraccio's coming. That's the one that went to the Pink Floyd with us and thought he was the devil. And till this day, he always calls himself the devil, and he always dresses up like the devil on Halloween. And this particular Halloween,
He's taking that theme to heart.
to heart. And my friends always say to him, why do you dress up like the devil? You're the devil 365 days a year, you know? So this one Halloween we were having up in an attic. It was Giulio Gamio's house. And the thing about Giulio Gamio's house was that there was a hole in the floor in the middle of his room. So seriously, Felicia. So it's
Really?
like right now there being a 5-foot hole where
Yeah.
people have to climb up. So you had to pay attention to that fucking hole because people take acid and shit and start talking.
Well, why was the hole there?
Because that's the stairs to come up. You know, you ever see an attic like you have to pull the stairs down?
Okay,
So we
okay.
had this fucking hole in the
Okay.
middle of this room,
All
Felicia.
right.
5 fucking feet. And so you had to watch this hole. And every fucking year that kid Joe would fall in the hole. And it'd be classic because you see him talking to you, and all you just see him, all of a sudden you just see like an inch, and all of a sudden you just see like 2 devil horns stay there for a second, and he would just go down, and the devil horns would go down after him. Like the devil horns would just stay up in the air enough. And every year he fell on those fucking stairs. And this one year, you know, went out with a bunch of my friends. We were ghosts or something, and we put sheets on. I mean, real fucking creative. And we went to this party, and we were drinking. And I was gonna hook up with this chick, and I fucking ended up. The girl didn't come; she was drunk at another party. So this other friend of hers said, "Walk me to her house. I'll go get her. You know, walk me." But in the meantime, this girl was in high school that I was walking with, and she had a boyfriend who was a big kid. He was a college guy, and he came over, and he was mad, but I stuck up for myself, and I ended up staying out that night. And I remember that was one of the nights that really changed my life. That's why I'm dreading Halloween, because I get really sad about Halloween.
Why? What
Because
happened?
Halloween was basically one of the last nights I really had a heart-to-heart with my mother on this fucking planet. You know, that was one of the nights that she broke down. Like, it was a 2-year stretch that my mom was going through some rough times. She had lost a bar. She had surgery, you know. Was I talking to you about this the other day, that I was looking at a picture in my house? Oh, I wrote a blog about that. I was looking at this picture in my house, and then I was like, wow, I was 13 then, and I was at this party, and I was thinking about that day, and I was thinking about my house at the time. That was a really sad time in my house because I never seen my mother. We would get up together, eat breakfast, and then she would go her way, I would go my way. For dinner, I would figure it out, and then she'd come home at about 10. We'd talk all day, but I was just doing my own thing. And I was doing my own laundry then. I was doing my own food shopping. I was cooking steakums. Remember steakums?
Oh, yeah,
Those nasty fucking scabby motherfucking steaks. I would put Ore-Ida.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes, I would
They
make.
were terrible.
For fucking years.
Oh,
when
my
my mother
God,
wasn't
they're
around,
terrible.
I would make 2 steakums every night with white bread and a tomato. And I would throw a bag of Ore-Ida fries. Ore-Ida in the thing, the steak fries. I really liked them, and I would lift weights. And I was really like running myself. But I was a good kid, you know. I was really running myself. I had gotten left back, so I didn't want to be around my mom a lot because I didn't want any questions. I would like, well, how come the kid down the block is graduating? When are you graduating? Nah, I'm going to basketball camp this year. So I tried to avoid it, but I love my mom dearly. We just had 2 different lives, and she had just gotten separated from my father, so I knew that her life was rough, you know, at the time. And I remember calling her that night, and she's like, you know, I don't care what time you come home, just keep calling me on the hour every hour. And I didn't call her for like 2 hours, and I walked in like at 6. And I thought that, you know, my mom at night would have a couple drinks and pass out. You know, this one night she was waiting for me. She was like furious, you know. And I walked in and she fucking took a couple swings at me, and she's like, how dare you? You were supposed to fucking call here, and you know, someday you're gonna have a fucking wife and you have to be a responsible man. That's what having a wife is about. You know, I'm just teaching you. But she hit me, you know. She fucking went at me that night. I mean, big time. And my mother hadn't done that for a couple years, you know. And I went to bed. The next morning she woke me up and she's like, listen, dog, about last night I was in a bad mood. A lot is going on in our lives. And she goes, I know that, you know, I don't see you that much. But she goes, I just want you to know that I want you to grow up to be a man. Whatever the fuck you're doing, that I don't see you enough. And this was hard. I had a lung infection, you know, and she felt, she had the Diaz syndrome. That lung infection meant that she was slipping as a mom. It wasn't that she was slipping as a mom, it's that I didn't really need her at that time. You know, when you turn 13, you're trying to stress your independence as a man. My stepdad had left. I was the man of the house. I didn't mind going to ShopRite. I didn't mind doing laundry. I didn't mind her leaving me money to go pay the phone bill. I liked doing those things, you know. And it had gone to my head. You follow what I'm saying? It goes to your head. You get cocky in life, and I figured I didn't have to call my mother. And she's like, I don't care what you do. I just want you to grow up to be a man. Yeah. That's it. I don't care if you're a loser. She goes, but you have to have responsibilities as a man. As a man, you have to do certain things. And, you know, a week later, I found her dead. If that happened on the 31st, November 8th, I found her dead. And
wow,
so
that happened on Halloween?
On Halloween. But it's really weird that sometimes people have a talk with you about something, and it goes in one ear and out the other. But when I seen her on the floor that day, it all came to fruition. You know what I'm saying? Like, that whole little 2-minute soliloquy was her goodbye to me. Like, it was just really weird. Yeah. Like, it was mind-boggling. So that's what I'm a Halloween guy. Like, it doesn't, I'm not going to tell you, on Halloween, I'm going to stay home and drink a bottle of Jack. No. It doesn't bother me that much, but that's what happens. You were talking about Jules Shepard, who I met briefly here. And, you know, it's pretty, there's an expression when you're growing up that everybody has their own Vietnam. You know, it's like everybody has their own Jules Shepard. You know, we all know somebody. We have a very trusted listener on the podcast. His name is Justin Cahill, and he's, you know, starting to do comedy. He wrote me a couple times on email, and one day he's a young kid. He just got a call. He had cancer, and testicle cancer. And we communicate a lot on the email. These are the emails I get, you know, and everybody has their own personal Vietnam. We all have our Jules Shepard. I have a friend that was diagnosed last year, and, you know, you look at these people and you think they're going to live forever. And when this motherfucking cancer shows up, this motherfucker shows up, plays with your emotions first, then he just either sucks you or leaves you the fuck alone. There's a point in the cancer where he either disappears, you go into remission, or it gets worse, you know, with some people. And with my buddy now, it's the other way around. Like, he just got surgery again. He had a big ball in his neck, you know, and it's like you talk to these people, and in a way, whenever I go to call him, like maybe when you go call Jules Shepard, the call, like dialing it, is always a little hard because you don't know what to expect. But every time I get off the phone, I feel a lot better about myself, that A, I called that person, that I still have loyalty to that person, that I made his day. Because I never talk about cancer. I talk about scratching my nuts and sniffing it and shitting for 20 minutes. All this shit.
I do that. I talk about how much cock I've been sucking.
Yeah, sucking cock. And, you know,
so she can live vicariously.
I ain't calling nobody with Jesus fucking Bibles. I'm calling you as Joey Diaz, whether you fucking like it or not.
Absolutely.
And it's really weird when I get off the phone. I feel so much better about myself because I made that person feel better, but I feel better about myself that I'm not in their position, I always pray in a way that I was. So I could experience a day in their fucking shoes, because it would tighten my shit up. Because I think getting any disease, cancer, even your little surgery, that was 2 days, you were in the hospital for 4, makes you look at things a little different. Makes you, when you sit in that hospital bed, you're like, I could be in here for 3 fucking months. What would my year be like, you know? So having your own personal jewel, your own private Idaho.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your own private Idaho, because that's a great fucking thing
By
for.
the way, she would be flattered by that.
You know, we all have our own private Idaho, and you look at those people and you pray. So if you're in the Burbank area, you know, I was telling Felicia we forgot to blow this up for Jewel. It would mean the world to her. Whether you know her or you don't know her, just stop in, get a fucking comic book.
Just Google Jewel Shepherd.
Yeah. You'll know. You'll fucking know. Put a joint in her hand. Whatever you need to fucking make your day better.
Yeah.
You know, this is one thing that yesterday Felicia and I were talking, and she said to me, you know, would you still consider doing the podcast? Do you want to end it? And I left here, and we were both very muffled yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, and what people need to realize a lot in life, that this podcast for me isn't about money. This podcast is not about those things anymore. This podcast has really become meeting certain people on the road and just getting touched in a way. Something I never thought would happen. I wrote Felicia an email last month, and I specifically put in the email that I wanted Felicia to get a lot from this podcast. And I don't know if she understood what I was saying to her. And it's like, this podcast to me isn't about the money no more, or the jokes, or the stories, or the funny. It's the fucking circle of this thing. It's that every time I go to now, I get touched by somebody from Twitter or the podcast, or somebody will come up and say, hey man, I heard that story about you putting chlorine on your dick, or anything. And it really makes the circle complete. I would not have a life if I didn't have this podcast no more. Because like working out, this is our hour to really, and what I'm trying to say is we're going to rock this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's amazing when you fall off the horse, how enthusiastic you get about things. But this whole thing is about checking yourself every 30 days or every week.
Yeah.
You know, I check myself and I get fucking bummed, you know. But it's the reality of it. They didn't laugh because you didn't give them nothing to laugh about. That's the bottom line. Yeah. The sound, the lights. Somebody stepped on the cord.
These are new jokes. That's my big crutch.
And it's weird. When I do a new joke the first time, it kills. It's the third and fourth time I can't get it to work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the first time I'm enthusiastic about it. I fucking go out there, fuck it. You know, I'm steamrolling this motherfucker. But then I can't remember how I said it the first time, because I never taped. So I go up there half-fucking-heartedly. Is there a month that, like, things happen to you in your life, a certain month, like, let's say February, like November. November was when my mother died, Marilyn died, I stopped doing blow, I got arrested for fucking kidnapping, I fucking did my Santeria thing November.
You must be shitting your pants.
Oh,
it's
fuck,
November.
I hate November, you know what I'm saying? But not really.
Yeah.
I look at it with open arms because a lot of good things happen in November.
Yeah.
All those things I just described were all really good things.
I was born in November.
See? When were you born? What date? Not the last date, but what day?
November 22nd.
Oh, that's a good day.
Yeah.
Didn't
I tell
Kennedy get shot on that day?
tell everyone I'm a Scorpio, but I'm actually a Sagittarius, and it's one of the creepy things about me, and I don't know why I do that, Joey. You know?
But are you on a cusp?
I'm right on the cusp, and I think it's because when I was growing up, certain horoscopes, especially like ones like from England or Europe, I think they are, the 22nd makes you Scorpio. But most horoscopes, it's a Sagittarius.
That's weird because I'm on the 19th, so I could either be an Aquarius or I could be a Pisces. So what I do is I read Aquarius and Pisces and pick the best one for the day.
That's kind of what I do.
Yeah,
so I pick just the best.
So
qualities.
some days I'm Pisces, some days I'm Aquarius.
That's true.
Some days I'm just a fucking cocksucker. You know what I'm saying?
I would say most days.
What is your Chinese horoscope? What are you?
I think I'm a rabbit.
I'm a rabbit too.
Are you really?
I'm a rabbit. 63. See, knock on wood. There you go. Tricks are for kids, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Save that shit for somebody else, cocksucker.
By the way, Joey, speaking of moms and sons, I have been the biggest fucking crank to my kids to the point where I lose my shit and a second later, my apologies, you guys. You know what I mean?
That's what you're supposed to do as a mom, dog.
Oh, fuck, man. That's all you do as a mom is complain.
Listen, nobody knows how hard a mom's job is till after it's all fucking over. And it's too late, and that's my job, to let people know. You know, where I live right now, the chick left her husband.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she left her husband. Like, I was living with the mom downstairs. She's the landlord. But the daughter left her husband for, like, a young kid. And they live downstairs now, you know?
Oh, really?
And it's really weird that I've never really dug her, you know? I could tell that she was a phone. She's one of those Hollywood people that twist their head when they talk to you.
Right.
So if somebody twists their head, they're out. Really?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's it. Get the fuck out of my eyesight with that twist. The only time you should twist your head is when you're eating pussy. You don't want to smell the asshole. You know what I'm saying? Don't twist your head when you're talking to me, you nasty motherfucker. You know? Or when
That's true. You ever eat so much pussy that your neck is like,
you gotta twist it around a little bit.
I've had that experience too.
No, you didn't eat pussy, but it's just so weird that on Tuesdays, Felicia, and tell me if I'm wrong, the lady's 60-something that lives downstairs. The daughter that moved back is 40, and the kid she hooked up with is 20. Now,
really?
I don't have to take the garbage out. I take it out because it's who I am. She's 60. Let me take it out. But for the last couple of weeks, they're in the garage all day fucking around, and they don't take the garbage out. So I told my wife, I seen my wife out there when they go, come here, don't take the garbage out. They're 20 and 40. She's down there sucking dick. She can take the garbage out. It's her truck. Like, we have to tell her, move the truck to move the... So I told Terry, don't move the... Yeah, you can suck the kid's dick, but you can't take the fucking garbage out. You know, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, come on.
What?
Who wants to take garbage out when you got something fun?
Yeah, but after you suck his dick and swallow and drink some water, take the fucking garbage out. You got 5-hour energy in you. You know what I'm saying? Take the fucking garbage out.
Well, it's hard to take the garbage out when your vagina is sore.
Well, you know what? Get a scooter and take the fucking garbage out. I don't give a fuck what you gotta do. That's your mother. That's your fucking mother.
Oh, okay.
She's out there taking the garbage out by herself.
Oh, the little old lady?
The little old lady.
Oh,
so
she
I took it out by
okay.
myself the other day with her, and she's like, thank you very much. And you know me, I gotta say something. I'm like, you know, not for nothing. You ain't my fucking mother. You know,
You said that to her?
Yeah, and I love her. She makes
Yeah.
me cup. She really likes me. Even Terry's like, she don't like me. She likes you.
Yeah.
She really like. The other day I was doing laundry. She brought me cupcakes to the things. You know, I took the cat.
Yeah.
I always look around the house. I don't fuck around. The other day the cops were out there. I came out with a stick at 2 a.m. She's seen me, so she loves me. She even asked me, when are you going out of town?
Oh, for sure. They must feel so much
Yeah,
safer
she
with
loves
you
me.
being around.
The mother
yeah.
loves me, and I love the mother. And, you know, it's the thing I got with every mother. You know, I can't see an injustice to a mother because in the back of my mind is what things would I do different than my mother. Knowing what I know now, Jesus fucking Christ. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, I'm that way too because my
Knowing
mother
what
passed
you
away
know
when,
now,
when I was younger.
what
and
would you do different?
I have friends where I say, dude, I don't
What
like
the fuck
how you're
is your
talking
problem?
about your
You
mom.
talk to your mother later. I haven't
Yeah.
talked to her in 2 weeks. Are you
Yeah.
fucking crazy?
Yeah.
I get pissed at people. Like, I'll fucking smack you. Call your fucking mother. I tell Terry all the time. You talk to those crazy people today? No. Why don't you call them from time to time? No, you fucking call them. It's your mother. I tell Terry all the time, you
Yeah.
gotta call your mom, dog. Say hello. What I wouldn't do if my mother was alive. You think I'd be out here jerking off, fucking around with you guys? I'd be at home rubbing my mother's fucking feet, going out stabbing people and coming home and bringing mommy a cookie or something. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the fucking world, that's all that really matters. That's all that fucking matters. But nobody knows this until they lose their mother. Then it's too fucking late. Then you wish you could do your childhood right again. So you could sweep all the time and drink your milk and you would do your life so much fucking different. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I would do some things different. I would do some things different.
Like what? What would you do different if you had a second chance with your mother all
with
over
my mother,
again?
what would I have done
You'd be more
differently?
patient with her. You'd understand her more.
I would be more patient with her, yeah. But I was pretty patient.
I know
but
you are. You're very patient.
I'm a
so I
pretty
don't know
patient
what-
person,
You
and then I
think
lose
about
my
that.
shit. Yeah, I
You
get all
think about
patient
that.
for up to a year, and then I lose my shit. Then it's a old school wilding. You know what I mean?
Listen, dog, I told you yesterday when you were telling me a story yesterday, I was looking at you and I was like, you are the sweetest person in the world. But every once in a while, especially on these two little
lose my
gorillas
shit.
you got, you're going to have to open up a can of kick-ass pretty soon. Pretty soon, you're going to
Dude,
call
I
me.
open up a can of kick-ass a lot.
You got 2 boys.
I know,
I mean,
dude.
you know, and it's like every day. The Cubans have an expression, and I know this is the expression you have to learn in Spanish. When your mother looks at you and she says, "Oye, me tiene ya el último pelo." that means you got me to the last hair. Like, I got one last hair left
Right.
before I fucking just burn this house down with all you motherfuckers in it.
I've condensed that down to really, dude.
Really,
when
dude?
I say really, dude, they're like, oh.
You know, I used to frustrate my mom so much, she would rip her fucking shirt off.
Oh,
Like, I would frustrate her so much. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Really?
Like,
She would?
I would do it on purpose. We
Yeah.
got that power.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want, I want Chinese. Then when the Chinese comes, it's got peas in it.
Yeah.
You know, when the chicken comes, you fried it.
Yeah.
Then when
yeah.
the steak comes, you put bread on it.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I can
know.
torture you. That's what we do.
I'm going through that. Yes.
Yeah,
I
it's
know,
fucking
I
his.
know.
You put olives on my steak.
You know, I know.
But I take the olives off. Well, the juice is still going to be on it.
No, I know. Mom, why did they put the butter already on the lobster? I wanted it on the side.
Oh.
Really, dude? Really? That's when I lose my shit.
I love you motherfuckers. Felicia, throw a kiss.
Mwah.